Hey, Dan Nelson again. Today I wanted to cover a kind of a useful meditation tool that me personally it's brought a lot to my life, and I use it on really tough, when I'm having a tough experience, tough day, tough moment. So a lot of people talk about, oh, the power of friendship, the power of love, right? It kind of sounds like a lot of claptrap. Uh, and the problem is that sometimes when we speak in generalities like this, it's just not always helpful, right? So I specifically wanted to help you utilize that friendship. Use these amazing connections and the support network that you've created for yourself, but maybe use it in a slightly different way, right? Because the problem is that the reason why we get therapists is because your friends don't have all the answers and your friends don't have all the tools. They might not even have the experiences that you've had, right? Childhood trauma is just not something the average everyday bear is ready to deal with. Sometimes sadly it's scary to people to hear about this stuff because they can't even imagine kind of what we went through, which is why it's amazing that we're survivors. It's amazing that we're here. But in order to kind of not put pressure on people that don't understand, might not have the useful tools and resources for us, but to still use that relationship and gain power from that relationship and from the love that they've given us. I kind of found a meditational exercise that this personally really helps me. So what I do is first, I try to clear my mind. I try to really try to figure out what is stressing me right now, right? Let's say I'm at work and my boss is being particularly jerky, right? This happens. A pretty common scenario, and it's happened to me personally, right? So sometimes, when this conflict happens, it can kind of stir up some of these emotions, right? Because sometimes, if your boss is condescending or cruel, that might remind you, it might be echoic of some of the cruelty that you experienced in life, right? So you might start to feel overwhelmed. It starts bringing up these emotions and these feelings that are kind of unwanted in the moment, right? So what I like to do is first I'll either go take a 15, or because of OSHA laws, if your management is such a jerk that they won't let you go for your 15, or maybe you've already taken your 15, go for a bathroom break. It turns out legally they can't stop you from doing that. Great thing about this exercise, you only need a few moments to utilize its ability. So what I do is I try to find somewhere else. I'm at the point, I've been meditating for a long time. I didn't think meditation worked. I thought it was kind of silly at first, but over the years, it does really help center me. So if it works, then I'd be foolish to turn that down, right? So just to get back into the exercise, what I'll do is I'll kind of, I'll go somewhere else. You could close your eyes. You might want to sit down, close your eyes. It's whatever makes you comfortable. When I was working at one of those hardware supply stores, I was lucky enough that I could literally walk outside very easily because the store had these big giant doors I could walk through any time. It wasn't a big deal if I wanted to walk outside for a few moments. So what I would do is I would kind of separate myself from the stressor, right? That's a very important aspect of this. And then what I'll do is I'll start to escape into my mind palace a little bit, right? I start to try to visualize the stress. Well, first I'll visualize myself, right? First, because this is all for you. This process and this exercise is for you. First, I'll imagine myself, and then I'll try to give form, even if it's very abstract. I'll try to give form to that stress, form to the thing that's angering me or hurting me or causing stirring up whatever emotions it is, right? So I try to imagine it. You could imagine it. For me, sometimes this comes in the form of like a black cloud. Like a dark cloud or maybe even like a physical, like a being, like a shadow being of some sort, right? And so that way I have myself and then I have the stressor separately. Well, this is where your friends come into play, right? Because if it was mano, if it was, being versus being, well, it's one-on-one. Not great odds, right? Not a betting man myself, but I wouldn't put money on that. But this is where your friends come into play. So now what I do is I start to imagine. It can be as little as one friend, or you might have a few friends. It's a super personal thing, but let's just start off with one, right? So one of my very, very good friends in college, his name was Connor. Connor could always make me laugh. Connor could always make me feel better. And so here's the thing. I'll imagine Connor standing between me and the stressor, right? So Connor acts like a wall. He'll act like a shield to protect me from that stressor, right? And I'll just meditate on this. I just think about all the awesome things Connor has done for me in my life, right? You know, he helped me write comedy. He helped me do improv. You know, he recognized me for who I was. He saw what I was trying to do on this planet, and he thought that was great, you know? And so I just think about all those gifts that Connor gave me. You know, all these amazing memories I have with Connor where we would sneak off and buy a couple KFC bowls and, you know, eat those things together and just hang out and talk about video games, talk about life, talk about how much our parents were screwballs. And we would just kind of bond over that. And when I start to focus on the strength that Connor gives me, I look over at that little shadowy being, that little dark gray cloud over there, and you know what? It really doesn't feel that strong anymore, because it's now 2 versus 1, right? And maybe you got to bring in some more friends. Maybe you got to bring, you know, think of it like a Dungeons and Dragons. You're slaying the beast. You might have to have a few more, you know, warriors help you out. But you know, this personal decision, personal, you know, standards for all that. But this personally will help me. It only takes a few minutes usually for me to kind of think about this, remind myself of these awesome things that I have in my life, and all of a sudden, you know, that stress, the thing that was upsetting me, there's no way it could hold a candle to the power of love and friendship, you know, that Connor has given me. So you know, so just keep that in mind. And you know, the greatest part about this exercise is that your friends don't have to be around. They don't. Connor's been dead for 10 years, you know, but he still means so much to me, and he still brings me strength all the time. So you know, so it's just one of those things. It might be your grandpa. It might be, you know, a friend you had in the past. It might be a friend that you just made last month that makes you feel like $1 million. It's just whatever those positive things are in your life. Just remember that they're always there to support you in one way or another. So yeah. So I hope this is a little helpful to you. I hope it wasn't too theoretical, but this has really helped me so much in my life. You know, I'm at the point where I don't need to close my eyes. You know, I could just do it while I'm just walking around aimlessly, and I can just remind myself of these awesome things. Yeah. So also at the end of this video, I tried to put a picture of the lake. I thought it might be a cool meditative aspect to the video. You know, I guess tell me what you think. Tell me if that works for you. In the future, I probably won't do this. I just thought it was kind of on brand. You know, in any case, hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching my videos, and I hope this is helpful.